Did you have any idea when you first got in the trades that you'd be running one of the biggest fab shops for one of the largest mechanical contractors in the United States?
I didn't have an idea of that a year ago, let alone 24.
Tradesmen built America. Not policymakers or desk jockeys, but hardworking, blue-collared men and women. Join me, Roger Wakefield, on conversations with some of the nation's most successful skilled laborers. This is the Trade Talks. Is that how long you've been in now? 24 years?
March will be 24.
Wow.
24 years. 20 years ago, you and I met here to do some service calls out of your van. It was a long time ago.
It's crazy. Wow. It's been a while.
Yeah, it's been a minute.
Now, you got in,
though.
It is. It's really good. And I try to tell people all the time, like, you never know when you get in the trades where you're going to end up.
Right.
I mean, not unless you just have a mindset of, look, I'm going to own my own company, or I'm going to do this, or I'm going to do that.
Yeah.
Are you glad you're where you're at?
Yeah. I mean, the security, the excitement of what we're doing has never been done before to the level we're doing it at. And I put a lot of pride into what I do. We all do. And it's very exciting.
Okay, so let's go back and start. What got you into the trades?
So that is a funny story. Graduated high school, started working at Subway sandwiches just to get some money. Was there for 6 months. My boss called me in and said, man, I see something in you. I want to make you an assistant manager. So I quit right then because I told him, I said, I have more ambition for my life than
for you
to work in fast food.
Yeah.
And I kind of thought if I got into that, I'd stay there. And I was like, I don't want to do that. So driving home, I get pulled over. Pulled over into the parking lot of the apprenticeship school, and They had a sign up, now hiring. So I was like, I got to pay for this ticket. So I walked right in there, and they sent me out the next week.
Wow.
Yeah, pretty crazy.
What was your thought about when you first started? Because you started then not going to school right then. You started as a PAT.
Right.
Pre-apprentice trainee.
Started in April. School didn't start till September, and I was just looking at it, getting a lot of feedback from the guys I was working with, and because it's a dual local, plumbing and pipe fitting and welding.
Absolutely.
And it's kind of just hearing they're like, hey, plumbers are on the job first, doing underground. Plumbers are on the job last, setting fixtures. Welders and pipe fitters, they're only there for a short period of time. They're always laid off. They're always moving. So
right.
I wanted the security, the stability. And that's kind of what pushed me into plumbing. I mean, I don't know if when you're a kid, if you're like, hey, I want to be a plumber.
Yeah, nobody dresses up as a plumber on Halloween.
Yeah, well, maybe Mario, but that's
There you go. There you go. All right, so you chose plumbing.
Yep.
And your first year or two really doesn't matter. It's all the same courses.
Right.
But so did you tell them that you wanted to do plumbing whenever you first got hired in, or you just like, look, I'm just looking for a job?
No, yeah, just looking for a job. I didn't even know what it was. I didn't even know we had unions in Texas, to be honest. I always heard that was kind of a northern thing, but yeah, I had no clue what I was walking into. I just saw the help wanted sign, now hiring, and they kind of explained to me what was going on. I was Dewey Jolly back then, but kind of explained to me what it was, construction. I was like, yeah, let's give it a try.
And you said that's 25 years ago.
24
years ago.
Yep.
So in about 11 years, you could really retire.
I could.
Probably not going to.
Well, 4 kids will make me not.
No, I get that. I get that.
But technically I could.
Did you realize when you walked in there that you'd be there forever?
No. But that's what I wanted. I wanted stability, security. My dad was a guy who had 9 different trades, 50 different jobs, and I did not want to put my kids through that. So I wanted to go somewhere. I knew when I got my job that I was going to do what I could to stay there. But I had no idea it would grow to this.
I love it. I think it's neat. It's, look, God makes things happen for a reason.
Yeah.
You turn into that parking lot, and it's like, wow, there's a help wanted sign.
Yeah, and, it's just something I picked up on naturally, which was weird. I mean, I didn't know anything about plumbing. Really wasn't a hands-on tools kind of guy, but just started picking it up. I mean, it just came to me, felt good, and everything seemed easy at first. But
And you learn fast. That was good about you.
Yeah. And what really struck me is you always hear, construction, but it's very challenging. It's very detailed. You have to be very thorough, and that's the part that kind of threw me off, is just how much work and planning and prep goes into it. It's not just going out and hanging pipe.
Oh, no. No. If it was that easy, we'd have our wives and children out doing it. What was your first year of school like? What is plumbing apprenticeship like?
Plumbing apprenticeship is worth it, but obviously it's tough. You work all day. Texas, it's hot, so you work all day.
It's either hot or it's cold. Pick one.
It's early morning. Got to wake up 4:30.
Yep.
You're on the job, then going to school 2 nights a week, 5 to 8:30. It takes a big commitment, but they set you so far ahead than someone who doesn't get that experience. Just being in the first year is kind of OSHA class, math, which I was always good at math, but basic math, adding, subtracting fractions. There's so much of that in what we do. So your first year is kind of just giving you the basics, but if you don't have that, then you're pretty far behind when you're out there. So the things you get from school is worth it. I mean, it just gives you a better path.
Okay. Your first year, how many people were in your class?
19.
In your first class?
42. Sorry.
Okay, I was fixing to say, wait a minute.
42.
I don't know they've ever done a class that small.
Yeah.
42.
Yeah.
How many were in the class when you graduated?
That was 19.
That was 19.
Yeah.
It cut down quite a bit, didn't it?
Yeah, a lot of people, 5 years, it's a haul. So you lose some along the way.
But you make good money along the way. Do you remember what you made when you first started?
It was probably somewhere around like 15, but yeah, a raise every 6 months.
Then a union raise if with a contract gets negotiated. Yep.
Yeah, you can absolutely make a good trade, but you don't have to spend all the money for schooling, for training, because you get that. And at that time, I think we were paying like $10 a week out of our check for school.
That's not bad.
No, it's not bad at all.
$520 a year for an education. Will you take it? Okay, maybe so.
Yeah, but it's, like I said, just the basics you get up there. The OSHA, safety is a big deal. Obviously, we don't want to be out there getting hurt and not being able to work. So learning the safety OSHA side of it, everything you should be doing, everything you need to do, it's really exciting. But you also, first year back then, they made you take welding. And I found out real quick that I hate welding. I am a toucan welder, no doubt.
There you go, yeah.
But that also kind of pushed me to plumbing because, once again, it's hot. So then you're up there with a welding jacket, breathing all this crap, sweating, and it's like, this is not for me.
It's
definitely
a pain.
not for me.
And you know what? I mean, when you think about it, at the end of the day, the only thing a welder has to do is think puddle.
Yeah.
Puddle. You're moving that little puddle of hot, molten metal.
Yeah. It's tough, but yeah, there's not a broad challenge to it.
Pipe fitting is a little bit different.
Yeah.
But choosing to become a plumber, did you think at the time, well, I guess you had already worked as a plumber because you started in April.
Yeah.
So you got to see, what was your first job you were on?
First job I was on, we were doing Children's Medical Center. I was out there for a week. We were just pilot holing. We were adding on 6 floors to the existing building. So I was out there for a week just drilling pilot holes. And then I went to work at Plano High School on night shift. We were going to do a huge remodel that summer. So they had us out there on night shift, putting hangers up, tracing lines, doing a bunch of prep work so we could hit it in the summer and be done for the next school. So I was out there for a while working on nights, which was not fun.
But you make a little extra money.
And at the time, I lived in Wiley, so it was a 15-minute drive. It's the
that
closest
makes it nice.
I've ever been to work.
Yeah, it gets worse.
Yeah.
I remember the day Ronnie came to me and says, "We need you to go to work in Fort Worth." I'm like, "What?" It's like, dude, they got Fort Worth locals over there. He's like, "Yeah, but we got the job."
Yeah, I remember me riding with you to Fort Worth when I was an apprentice.
I believe it.
I was like, hey, I can't
a
afford
long
that
run.
gas. You're
Yes.
like, hey, man, just meet up with me.
Absolutely. Absolutely. What did you love about going to school?
Oh, man. The challenge. You know, I don't want to get comfortable in what I'm doing. I'm always looking to push myself to gain more, push more, get more knowledge. And they hit you with some pretty challenging things. And you can, obviously, just like anything else, you get out of it what you put into it. So you can go up there and just sit through the class and not do anything. But when you get into rigging and all the different ways to tie it, to strap it, to hoist it, it's endless information if you're ready to apply yourself and challenge yourself.
You know, it's funny. Randy came to me right after he graduated high school. Now, how long had you been out of school before you went out of the hall?
So just over a year. Graduated in May, and then that next
April.
September, yeah.
Okay. So Randy came to me right after graduation and says, hey, look, I want to get in the union. I said, no.
Really?
I said, you're going to mess up. You're going to make mistakes. Go get a job. Learn to be on time. Learn to do a good job.
Yes.
You've got one name. Do not mess it up. And I don't know if it was a year or two, but he went out and he worked at a machine shop. He did a lot of other things.
We were in the same class.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And then he came in, and he came back, and he said, hey, I'm ready.
That's very smart. That's exactly what I did with my kids. Like you said, get a job, learn what it's about, the commitment, being on time, because that's the main thing, especially in construction. I don't care how good you are. If you're not there, nothing's getting done today.
Absolutely.
So that part, and just learning to how that works, having a job and having that commitment mixed in with your life, and just getting out of high school is a big shock. Like, I have all
That's
this
a whole
time
new world.
now.
Yeah.
But that's very smart.
It worked. I mean, it did. But I mean, I knew him, and I'm like, you know what? You're not going to show up the first day, bright-eyed, bushy-tailed, ready to go on time, and, man, I'm here to learn and grow.
Yeah.
Get out and see what the real world's like, and then we'll talk about getting into the union.
Yeah, especially in this trade. Like I said, it's an early morning trade, and I am not a morning guy, so it's tough getting up at 4:30 every morning.
You know, there was a guy that, God, where did we work together? Was it Fort Worth? There's a guy in the union that literally he could not wake up. He ended up getting one of those like clocks that you plug stuff into, and he slept with a vacuum cleaner in his bed.
Wow.
And that way at 5 a.m., this vacuum cleaner, he said, you can't sleep through that. He said, that'll scare the heck out of you.
That's funny. I had a similar thing, and there's an app I downloaded to where when your alarm went off, you had to solve math equations to silence it.
That is pretty daggum smart.
Yeah. So
Do you still have it?
No, I don't have that issue.
You get out of bed now?
Yeah, I get out of bed now 24 years later. But, yeah, I mean, your alarm goes off, you jump up out of bed, and you're like, what is 72 times 9? And you're like, hold on, what's going on? And this is blared.
That is
so
hilarious.
I found out real quick, you just turn your phone off and not do it. So that worked for about a week. But they're tough questions. I mean, it's not just simple. But
Man, no, I love that. That's a great idea for an app.
yeah.
Somebody build that app now. It's a good thing to have.
Yeah, it's tough. That's a challenge. That's a very difficult challenge, just getting up and being there, especially, like you said, in Texas. That's a huge shock to your body. Being outside on your feet all day, up and down ladders, hauling pipe. You wake up, even at 18, 19 years old, I woke up and I'm like, oh, man, I don't know if I can do this today.
My body's sore today.
Yeah, I got to go hang 8-inch cast iron.
Okay, so you've been in 24 years.
Right.
You were 18 when you graduated. You've been working in the trades longer than you were when you got out of high school.
Man, I've never thought of it like that. Makes me feel old, but
You are. I see the gray starting to show up there.
Yeah, silver streaks coming through.
What do you think you could have done different?
Man, there's so many things. I wish I could have done a lot different in life, but just as far as my career goes, I'm not exactly the most social person, and I think that kind of held me back at times. I mean, I've always pushed myself, wanting to get to the next level. I moved up quick through every level, but
You know I got in trouble because of you.
You got in trouble several times.
Well, I got in trouble several times, period.
What specific?
I remember, I think we were over at the hospital, and I had you running work.
Yep.
And
Third year apprentice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it was probably Dewey that called me and said, "You can't do that." It's like, well, get me some people out here that can run the work in, because they ain't here.
Well, you were doing something really good where you were giving us the hours we had you would line us out on the system, and you would say, "Hey, this is your estimated hours."
Isn't that amazing?
Yeah. And
nobody does that.
No, nobody, because it's a lot of work.
It is. It's a lot of work on my end.
And for some people, it puts them off, like, "Oh, you're tracking me now, you're bird dogging me." But for the right people,
being honest with you,
for the right people, that pushes you.
You bet.
And I pushed and just destroyed those, and that did rub a lot of people the wrong way. I would get a lot of complaints.
Yes,
I had a lot of people come up to me, say, "Hey, man, you need to slow down. You're making us look bad."
Isn't that bad? And
I don't understand that mindset.
Me either, because I know that's one thing they warned me about. Not warned me about. I was told before I ever got in the union, you'll never like it. They'll stand over your shoulder and watch you work. They'll tell you if you're working too fast. They'll tell you if you're working too slow. They'll tell you, "Hey, stop. You can't do any more work today. Just stand here." And I'm like, man, I never want to do that. And then later, I did get in the union, and look, there were a lot of people didn't like it, because I'd been plumbing 17 years. And when they were running the recruiting when I was there, or when I got in, they brought 100 people into the union.
Yeah.
100 plumbers. 6 months later, there were 2 of us left.
I remember that. It did make a lot of people mad, because you came in as a superintendent at a high level.
Well, and I didn't start out as a superintendent. I started out as a hand. I was out at, matter of fact, I started out here at Fujitsu.
With Brant?
Uh-huh.
No way.
Yep. Brant was the first company I went to work for. Started at Fujitsu, and that was 97. I was at Brant till 99.
Okay.
And in the beginning of 99, I went to Beard and worked out at Texas Instruments for a while. And it was just learning new things. And I guess, God, I'm trying to remember. Yeah, my first 3 years in the union, I was a hand.
Okay, so that was before I didn't get in until 02. So I just remember you coming back to Brant as
and then bringing me over as a superintendent.
And I remember that made a lot of people mad.
It did, I hate to say it. I don't worry about what other people think. I never have.
Yeah.
And I tell people all the time, look, I didn't quit companies.
Yeah.
Other companies called me and said, "Hey, we need you." And I mean, 24 years in the local there, I bounced back and forth between basically Brant and Beard.
Right. Well, at that time, the market was up and down.
Oh, so absolutely.
They had a job. Brant was slow. Brant had a job. They were slow. So you kind of had to.
It was easy to do it.
Yeah.
But still, even if Brant slowed down or Beard slowed down, I knew, look, I'm a good worker. They're not going to let me go.
Yeah.
But I also knew, wait, Beard's calling or Brant's calling, and I'd go talk to him and say, "Hey, tell me what you got."
Dumb not to.
Yeah. And I remember going over to my dad's house one day, and I walked in. I was sitting there talking to him, and he said, "Son," he said, "don't you think it's time that you settle down at a company and just grow with them?" I said, "Dad, I'm growing." He said, "Yeah, but you're back and forth. You're back and forth." I said, "Dad, I don't leave companies. Companies pay me to come to work for them."
Right.
And he said, "What do you mean?" I said, "Well," and I think I just left Brant, was going back to Beard. I said, "I just got a $12,000 a year raise. They paid me $6 more an hour to come over there."
That's huge. Yeah.
And he's like, "You just got a $12,000 a year raise?" I said, "Yeah." He said, "You just keep doing what you're doing. I think you're doing okay."
Yeah, when you factor in that part,
it makes a big difference.
Yeah, it looks like you're chasing that, but
I was never chasing.
Yeah, and when you've worked to accomplish what you accomplished, and
bet.
you have the skills and you have the licenses and everything, you can have that door open for you. And like I said, you'd be dumb not to listen to the offers, because they will pay you, because you're hard to find. I mean,
I remember sitting in the office with Barry one day, Barry Moore.
Yeah, Barry.
Okay. And he called me into his office, and I walk in. I knew something was up, because there's 2 chairs, and this is when the office was over on Indian Trail, where Beard is now. And there's 2 chairs, and they're facing each other. And I thought, this is weird. I kind of walk around him like I'm going to his desk, and he sits down and one of me says, no, come over here. And it's him and I sitting across from each other, and we're about as close as you and I are.
Wow.
And I mean, there's no desk between us. There's no nothing.
Wow.
And you just sit there. And he talks, and he says, I don't want you to leave. I said, I understand that.
Okay.
I understand that. I said, but the problem is you can't afford to keep me here. And he looks at me and says, I want to say you're wrong, but I think you're probably right. Will you explain it to me? I said, absolutely. I said, with what they're paying me to leave, I'm crazy not to.
Yeah, absolutely.
I said, but if you move me up to what they're going to pay me, now you've got to look at every other superintendent that you have, because they're going to hear about it. I will never say a word.
Yep. But
you know they're going to hear about it. And he sits there and he says, wow. He said, you're probably right.
Yeah.
I said, I am. I said, but I'll also tell you this. 2 years from now, y'all will pay me more to leave there to come back.
Yeah.
And he said, well, I hope it doesn't happen like that. He said, but it probably will. I said, it will.
Yeah. And
3 years later, I'm in the office, and I come walking by, and he looked at me, just shook his head. He said, I kind of figured I'd see you back here one day. I said, I knew you would.
Yeah, but that's a very smart thinking and recognizing that, because that is a quick way to destroy a company.
Oh, it is.
Morale.
And I would never want that to happen.
Exactly.
So and that's why I told him, look, you can't.
Yes. The fact that you were honest and you brought that up to Barry, and then he realizes, like, man, you're right, because that would have.
He is such a look. I love him. I love dude. Barry and Mark both amazing people, and it was always neat because I never left one of the companies on bad terms. Right. It wasn't, hey, to heck with y'all, I'm out of here. Yep. It was never like that. It was, hey, look, got to give you my 2 week notice. I'm going back over here. They've got a project. They need this. They need this. But it worked, and I mean, it worked good. Okay, so one quick question, because I worked with you when you were a young apprentice.
Right.
How was I to work for? And I mean, be serious. Don't you be 100% honest.
The thing I liked most about you is you were hard on me when I needed you to be hard on me, because I was a young kid.
You bet.
I take pride in what I do. Like I said, I have good work ethic. I worked hard. But I was a young kid.
You bet. Still learning. And I get that.
Absolutely. So there's times I needed to get back in line. There was times I would get a little arrogant because how fast I was going or what I was doing or some of the praise I was getting. So I would get a little cocky, get a little arrogant, maybe run my mouth to one or two.
And all it takes is somebody like me to stand up at the meeting and say, dude, you messed that up. We got to go back and fix it. And you're like, oh,
and I
man.
remember that's exactly what happened. The testing crew, one of my friends was on the testing crew. And he tested one of the systems I did, and he said, man, you had a leak. I was like, no, it's 12-inch cast iron.
Right.
I was like,
I've never had a leak.
There's no way, bro. There's no way, because I had to deal. I told him if he found a leak of mine, I would take him to lunch for every leak he found.
Right.
But I was like, there's no way. 12-inch Y. It's like, there's no way, dude. But sure enough, it wasn't level. I had a little sag, and it was dripping. And that checked me so hard, because I was like, okay, I'm probably getting a little arrogant, slow down, but that's what I like the most about you is you have a good feel of your employees. You knew when to be hard, when to just kind of say, hey, man, you're good, man.
It happens to all of us.
Yeah.
And it does. You can't always say that.
Yeah.
But
just you're good at reading people.
I love people. And I want people, I want the best out of people.
Yeah.
I had a guy that was in one of my classes. Literally, 10, 15 years ago, I had to call to get my garage door fixed. And it wasn't any big deal, but guy comes out and he opens the door, and I open the door, and I think I'm on the phone, and I'm like, oh my God, so just a minute. So I walk off, and Julie comes. She says, hey, he's on a call. He says, no, he says, I know Roger. He said, I had Roger when I was an apprentice. He said, Roger may not want me to work on the garage door. No. And she said, why? He said, because I wasn't a good student. I didn't want to be there. I wanted to sleep. I just wanted to get out in the field and make money. And Julie said, well, were you smart? She says, yeah. She says, I could have done any of it.
You didn't apply yourself.
Said, if you didn't apply yourself, Roger will call you out. And she says, oh, he did many, many times.
Well, and that's frustrating when you see that potential in someone. And like you were saying, it's good money coming in. So a lot of people just get into it for the money.
Oh, yeah.
Like you said, at school, he didn't care to learn any of that, but
the dude was a great garage door tech. He said, he did. And I came in there, and Julie told me, she says, he thinks you don't like him. I walked up and said, no. I said, man, no, you were great. I said, you'd have been a great plumber. Yes. You'd have ran work. You'd have done a lot of good things.
Yeah.
And that's me. I want the best for everybody.
Yeah.
And it's right there. All you got to do is do it.
Yeah,
and
especially when you see that level and you see them not even trying is very frustrating because they don't see what could come of it. Like when I started, like I said, I had no clue I'd be here. And that was just for me going and doing the work and trying every day. And then now the position I'm in, it all pays off.
It does. And I tell people that too. When you get in, look, to me, the first year is the year you need to learn the most because this is your foundation. Yeah. Math, safety.
Yeah.
God, isn't the second half of first year when advanced blueprint reading and drawing is?
Yeah.
And then 3 or 4 years later, you get it again.
Yeah.
And I love that because that's what I got to teach. So it's like, okay, this is neat. And I tell people, look, I was never taught to read blueprints. I taught myself. And I learned upside down because the plumber that I worked with, he'd put prints on the sheetrock and he did not want me beside him. And I'd look at them upside down. And I remember the first time they brought in a new set of prints and they rolled those up and said, trash them. I took them out of the trash, took them right back to my car, and I carried them home with me. And I'm like, man, I want to figure this out.
Yeah.
And started looking at the legends, the symbols, what is everything. And it's all right there. And it's like, oh my gosh, I didn't even know this.
Yeah, that was what I would challenge myself to when I was an apprentice on the job. As soon as I saw prints, I was like, okay, where am I standing right now?
You bet.
And you start at the edge, counting columns, and like, okay, 8 columns over, count them over on the blueprints, and that kind of gets you. But that's very critical. I mean, especially where we're at now in BIM and the way we model a job completely beginning to end. If you don't have that
before it ever starts,
skill,
almost.
Yes, you build it digitally before you even build it. But, and it's all so accurate. That's the most critical part. If you can't read prints, I mean.
I love it.
Yeah.
What was the worst thing about me as a superintendent?
The starched jeans. You showed up starched out.
I always did.
Yeah,
but I still do. I mean, not today. I've got my soft jeans on just because of the videos that I'm making.
Yeah.
But yeah, I still wear starched jeans, starched shirts every freaking day.
You showed up to work looking good every day. But that was fun. I just watching that because it's construction, you know, especially in mine. I know whatever I wear is going to get destroyed that day. I'm going home with a black swan all over me.
I've done that too.
Yeah, so it's like, man, he can come to work looking nice. That kind of sucks because I'm wearing holes in my t-shirts.
Oh, trust me, I've messed up more pair of jeans like that doing the exact same thing.
Yeah, but no, that's really, I mean, you know what I've thought of you, Roger. You took me under your wing early on, and you taught me a lot. Came and did side work with you when you had your company. You helped me push myself.
You had ambition, and you wanted to learn, and really that's what it was all about. And really, the reason I'd call you for the side work is like, I want to show you, look, residential is completely different.
Yes.
And it looks different. It feels different. Dealing with the customers is different than dealing with the general contractor.
It is. And that's what a lot of people don't understand when I tell them I'm a commercial plumber. They're like, oh, you're a plumber. It's like, no, I'm a commercial plumber.
Come fix my toilet. And you're like,
yeah, I don't do that. Once it has poo-poo running through it, I'm out. I put it in brand new. But it is totally different. And it's kind of funny story. When I met my wife, she asked me what I did. Told her I was an electrician because I didn't want to tell her I was a plumber and didn't want to have to explain it. So I was like, I'm an electrician.
That's funny.
We still joke about that. My son graduated from high school last year, and he's an electrician. He started at Brant. He's working in our electrical fab shop. So it's kind of a funny story that he chose to be an electrician now. But it's just a testament of who he is because he wanted to do his own thing. He didn't want to have to follow behind me.
Yep. Oh, look at Randy. He's a pipe fitter.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Like, dude, be a plumber. It's like,
I know.
I don't know.
Yeah. But I respect that from him. He wanted to do his own thing, make his own way.
It's real good. What made you want to become good when you were an apprentice?
So that's just something else I tell my kids. If you tell me to do something, I'm going to go do it the best it's ever been done. If you tell me to go sweep the floor, I'm going to sweep that floor better than anyone. And that's just what I do at everything. If you're doing something and you're not doing it all the way right to your full capabilities, why are you even doing it? And that's my approach with everything I do. When I clean my garage, when I hang up my clothes, they're all the same way. So that's just what's built in me is if I'm doing it, I'm cheating myself if I don't do it right, perfect, as good as I can do it.
I like that. What made you think like that?
I think just watching my dad bounce around, like I was saying, we grew up really, really poor. I had an opportunity to go to college with a scholarship, but I wanted to get out and make my own money. I didn't have my first brand new pair of shoes until I was 14 years old. Everything was hand-me-downs. But just seeing that, growing up in that lifestyle, I knew I wanted to be a dad. I knew I would not raise my kids in financial insecurity. So the best way to do that is be good at what you do. Because like you said, whenever things would get slow, you never worried about.
I never worried about it.
Yeah, because you know the skill you bring.
You bet.
But you had to put in the work to get to that level. Mm-hmm. So that's kind of what drove me to do that is, plus I'm very competitive. I want to be the best at everything.
I understand.
I want to push myself, idle hands do the devil's work. So I wanted to keep challenging, keep pushing myself because I thought I would get lazy and complacent if I didn't.
After you graduated, apprentice trainings, JETC, what was it like being out on your own? Because now you're the journeyman. Now you had already had some foreman type work.
Yeah, so that was to me the best part about that because I've basically been working as a journeyman since my third year. You did that, and it kind of never went away. So I remember when I was a third year having a fifth year apprentice as my apprentice. So I'd kind of already been working as a journeyman. That part wasn't new, but not having to go to school, being able to say, man, I made it through, like we said, started out with 42, graduated 19, just being able to celebrate. I don't have to drive to Mesquite at 5 o'clock on a Tuesday afternoon on 6:35.
Oh, wait, back then it was Garland.
Garland, yeah.
There you go. Yeah. There you go.
Yeah, I don't have to fight through 6:35 traffic, leaving a job that I just killed it at, covered in sweat, covered in dirt, and just being able to say that I accomplished that. I still have the diploma I got hanging on my wall. That's just the commitment and saying I did that.
So take just a second and tell everybody who you are and what you do.
So my name's Andrew Meshell. I work for Brant. I run our plumbing and piping fab shop. We're in the middle of transitioning to a new building. So right now,
I built that building you're in.
Yeah, we're working out of Carrollton, and that is way too small for the level and the volume we do. About 6 years ago, Brant started a Fab First initiative. We realized these schedules are getting tight, impossible. We realized fabrication was the only way we could provide a better service to our customers. You can control safety, you can control material, you can control not working around so just the quality of the install is better. There's so many variables that you are in complete control of. Plus, you can work on the system before the floor is even ready. Mm-hmm. As soon as the concrete's poured, you've got 70% of it done. So we started that initiative, and Barry Moore, Mike Clark and I were out at TCU. He was the job superintendent. I was the plumbing superintendent. And Barry Moore came out there and said, we are fabricating every single thing starting tomorrow.
Wow.
And it was a disaster. We wrote that project down so much, but we had never tried to do it to that level.
You've got to learn. But
rip the Band-Aid off. I respect Barry for doing that. He knew he was going to lose a lot of money doing that, but he saw the benefit of it. So over the next 6 months of having to tear every single thing apart, they started this initiative, and what they did is they brought in the two people who complained about fabrication the most. That was Mike Clark and me. They said, okay, y'all are complaining about it, come in and fix it. So 5 years ago, Mike Clark came in. He brought me in a month after he came in. At that time, I was the shop manager. He was the director of fabrication. January, he moved into a different position with Southland doing manufacturing. So I was promoted to running the entire shop while we're transitioning to this new state-of-the-art facility. We're moving from 47,000 square feet in Carrollton to 195,000 square feet. And the cool thing about that is when I was told, hey, we got this building, it's going to be the new fab shop. It's like, oh, cool, where's it at? It's off of 820 and Beach. Like, hold on.
Fort Worth.
I live off of 820 and Beach. Where's it? 7 minutes from my house.
Huh? You're going to be closer than you were from here. Yeah.
And I'm going to be there for the rest of my career. But we saw the benefit and the need for it, and we've taken it to a completely different level.
I like that. Now, you went back and you were an instructor for a while in the union.
Taught for 7 years up there, 2 nights a week. Couldn't, I got out of it, and I was like, man, I have all this time. I was like, I'll just go back up there. But it's a little different when you're getting paid to go up there.
It is.
But once again, like I said, you brought me under your wing. You taught me a lot. My deal was, this is our trade. This is the health of our nation. I want to make sure the people doing this know what they're doing. Mm-hmm. I want to pass this knowledge on. Like I said, I just picked up on it quick. I applied myself. I wanted to make sure that I was doing my part to train the next generation of people coming up. And there's a cool story about that. I used to tell all my apprentices when I got them in the class. I woke up on a Christmas morning one morning. My 2-year-old son was bleeding out of his ears, bleeding out of his nose, barely breathing. So we took him to the hospital. It was when we had a bad snowstorm. We took him to the hospital right by our house. They care flighted him to Children's Medical Center, put him on oxygen tubes. I ran those lines that saved my son's life. Like I literally ran the pipe that the oxygen's flowing through that saved his life. And that's such a cool story. And when I got to Children's, when they finally got him set up in the ICU, I'll just walk in and it's like, I spent 4 years out here. I'm just walking around.
Right where I'm going, yeah.
I know exactly where everything's at, but that part, you have to care about what you do. And like I said, we control the health of the nation. If you have an unsanitary system, you're going to have health problems.
Oh, yeah.
The decline of a lot of civilizations were because of unsanitary conditions. So, like I said, I wanted to make sure the people behind me were installing it right and making sure, because you always hear the horror stories about water heaters exploding because they put a valve before the T&P, or they don't put a T&P at all. They just plug it half the times. Don't even run it out. No expansion tank. So you hear those stories, and it's like, that's why I got in the union, first of all, because you get the next level of training, but I want to make sure we're still passing that on. And a lot of it was when I went to school, some of the instructors were just there. They had some really good ones, and then you had some that they're just up there reading Hunting Fishing magazine. So I wanted
talking about the Cowboys, talking about the Rangers, talking about the Mavericks.
So I wanted to weed some of that out. And it always seems like they were in the classes that I was most excited for. My rigging class, I was so excited for rigging. We didn't do one knot, one strap in rigging. Wow. All we did was paper assignments. So how do you do paper assignments in a hands-on class? So I wanted to kind of help elevate the level of teaching. I taught plumbing code, and I taught math for 7 years.
Those are two good classes.
Yeah, two very critical classes. Like you said, we do math every single day, and everything we do, being able to do it and not have to break out your carpenter pencil and write on sheetrock, being able to do it in your head, and knowing code, knowing what you can install, what you can't. Those are two very critical things.
And even just how to read the code book. You know, a lot of people have no idea. I get people message me all the time, say, where will I find this in the code book? It's like, really?
Well, and like you said, how to read it. I mean, it's written by lawyers, so
You bet.
some of the verbiage is tough. It's
You can't fix all that, but like even where to find answers.
Yeah,
You know, how do I find out what size vent here? It's like, seriously?
how far can I run my 1.5-inch live arm? Yeah,
And people ask stuff like that all the time.
yeah.
It's like, are you really a plumber? And
How did you?
can I
pass
see your
test?
license? But some states are different. You know, that they test everything different. What was your favorite thing about being an instructor?
My favorite thing is now having all the apprentices that I've taught. 3 of them are supervisors on my team. Seeing that growth. My son, like I said, he started at Brant. Having people go up to him and say, "Man, your dad, dude, he was a phenomenal teacher.
Bet.
Your dad invested this in me, and your dad helped build me." That part is really cool. Seeing, because I wasn't doing that for that reason. I was, like I said, I just wanted to help teach, help instruct. But all these years later, seeing everything that came out of that, it makes you feel good. It's a sense of pride.
It is. It's neat.
My son comes home and he's like, had another person come up to me. So that part is really paid off. Like I said, that's not why I was doing it, but it helps.
It's a great feeling.
Yeah, that's a good feeling.
It is. So what do you do nowadays?
Right now, I'm all invested in this move. I'm planning equipment, planning power hookups, training, but
Oh, you're just trying to spend time in Fort Worth. I know what you're doing.
Yeah, I'm there conveniently in the mornings. Like
There
I said,
you go.
I'm not a morning person. So
There you go.
That's an extra 42 minutes of sleep. But typically, just tracking schedules, making sure I have a great team underneath me. We're a plumbing and piping fab shop. I'm a plumber by trade. I said I hate welding. So to me, one of the best parts about being a good supervisor is knowing what you don't know.
You bet.
I have a strong team of welders and pipe fitters underneath me because that's what I don't know. So the team that I've built run this shop. I'm just there making sure everything's smoothly. If there's any issues that need to be ironed out, tracking dates, tracking overhead costs, tracking labor, typically all that stuff.
You know, we did prefabrication out at DFW Airport when I was at Beard. And, I mean, I would literally draw every spool myself.
Hand spools.
Okay?
Yeah.
And they'd still come out wrong.
Yeah.
And I'm calling the fab shop manager. It's like, dude, he's like, what? It's like, look, if we're going to order them, they got to come out right. And it's like, I need you to check them. And he wouldn't. Lazy.
Yeah.
And I'm like, man, dude, this is killing us.
Yeah.
And I finally went and raised Cain one day. I said, look, either this stuff starts coming out right or we're going to quit fabbing. We're going to do it at the job. And they didn't like that. But, you know, I've said things before people didn't like.
Yeah. That's what pushed us to do the Fab First initiative is if you're going to do it, it has to be right. And
Every time. Yep.
like I said, we would cut every single fab apart.
I've been there.
Yeah. And that's the other thing is you had nobody checking it. And they're like, well, we're too busy to check it. You expect me to check every single one of these 500 pieces?
Yes.
Well, yeah. I mean, it has to be on the money. You know,
Somebody's got to build it just like it's drawn, y'all.
Yes. We have an eighth inch tolerance that we put up with. But, you know, we check the quality. That's the main thing that I'm really impressed about our shop. The volume we do, the efficiency, the safety, that's all awesome. But the quality that we've reached coming from the union, quality has been bored into me from day one. And like I said, I want to do it right just because I have to. The level of quality we've reached is impressive.
How does Fab First work?
Fab First works with a lot of coordination, a lot of communication months before anything happens. Installation matrix, making sure we have the right manufacturer fittings because Nibco fittings take off different than Mueller fittings.
Oh, yeah.
So having all that, having our entire database that we BIM, we pull a fitting over and it pulls the dimensions. It does the takeoff. It spits out our cut list. But there's so much work that goes into it, communication between the project managers and us about scheduling, material, getting the vendors the bombs so there's no issues there. There's a lot that goes into it, but that's the Fab First initiative, is that has to happen first. If we don't do that beforehand, we have no chance.
How long have y'all been doing it now?
5 years, about 5.5.
Is there anybody in the country that does it better?
Hell no. So there's a funny story. We were bought out by Southland about 3.5 years ago.
I was going to say it's been a little while.
Starting January 1st, there's no more brand.
Oh, wow.
It's Southland. Branding, everything. We're rewrapping our trucks right now. We're completely doing away with the name, which sucks. I've been here for 24 years. I've got a closet full of brand gear.
Oh, yeah.
But it's exciting. But they came to tour the fab shop because they'd heard about what we did. And the first year we took over, just the change in everything. Everybody could see this is the future. So Southland came and toured as a general contractor. They were like, hey, we want to do some work with you. Came and toured the shop because they couldn't understand what we were doing. And 6 months later, they bought us.
Wow.
And 3 years later, they're building us this massive state-of-the-art facility to do nothing but fabricate.
Now, where are you fabricating for? Is it just for Brant? Is it just for Brant in Texas, or are you shipping nationwide?
We've done nationwide. So we've done some jobs for Southland in Virginia, California. Southland is very big on, we have all these shops, we're going to use them. So we've had some overflow we've had to do. We have to support North Texas.
Right.
Brant is local in Texas. We don't go out of the state. We've tried a few times and didn't really work for us.
I know, I've seen it.
Yeah. So mainly we're fabricating for Texas, but we're a Southland shop now. So we do work for Southland across the country.
Pretty cool.
Yeah, it's exciting.
So is Southland in almost every state, or are they just key locations? Or
I think they do work in every state, but they have offices in 9 states. 7 or 8 fab shops. They're large.
And you're going to have the largest one?
Yes. Largest one.
Right now?
Yeah. Right now, yeah, I'm sure. But once again, I don't think anybody can do it to the level we do it at, just because everything with our systems, our software, our processes, the people we have, how much they care. Brant is basically a family company. Mm-hmm. It's not a family company, but it has that feel.
Oh, no. I used to love walking in the hall and see Mark and Barry talk to other people.
Yeah.
And it's like, man, y'all know everybody's name. And I remember talking to Mark when they said, there'll be one day that we'll get to where we can't. But it's like, man.
Yeah, but having that value part of your structure, everybody cares so much about what they do. Plus, Brant's a great company. They take care of their employees. I met a lot of people there, a lot of good friends there, a lot of people who have built me and trained me. And that doesn't happen at every company, because you got to look at it as you're my competition. And I had a lot of journeymen that would not teach me, because that's what they told me. You're my competition. In 2 years, I may get laid off while you're working. And that mindset is out there. So having
that
everybody
still blows my mind.
It's crazy. Having everybody on the same team that truly cares about what they do, we're doing some impressive things.
So you got to work with John a lot, don't you?
Yeah.
How's he doing?
He's doing very well. So he's kind of moved into a different role, head of all of the IT VDC equipment. So all of our equipment is, like I said, we integrate cut lists. We don't do any takeoffs in the shop. We start a package, it spits out a cut list to our plasma, to our copper cutter. We push buttons, but there's a lot of software, a lot of networking that goes into that. John's over that team.
So he's not on the computer drawing?
No, he's a busy man. He's a very busy man.
He is. But he's a great guy, too.
Oh, I'm so proud of him. I remember when he was the yard dog.
Oh, yeah.
It was on your job at Medical City, and he quit to go to school to learn this. Mm-hmm. And I remember looking at him, I was like, what are you doing, man? Like, you see what's coming here.
I kept trying to get Brant to pay for it. I'm like, this kid is sharp. He's going to do good things. And, well, the person I talked to was like, well, we ain't paying for that.
Yeah.
It's like, okay.
Yeah, but
they're paying for it now.
Oh, yeah. Well, he's a huge part of what we're capable of doing.
Yeah.
And he kind of, when he graduated from that school and got all that, he came back to Brant and he started.
Oh, I know. I helped him come back.
He started implementing that. But I remember we went to lunch one day, and I was just like, man, what are you doing? You could be here and in 5 years making $100,000 a year. You're not going to be rich, but you're going to be comfortable, man.
He's doing good.
Yeah, and he's like, no, I'm going to quit and go pay for this school and do it on my own, and it's worked out.
Yeah,
and it's helped to make Brant who we are.
I believe
But
that.
I just think it's because he didn't want to get dirty. He's not a very dirty guy.
Yeah, he's kind of
cleaner.
wimpy like that.
He
I know.
Doesn't like to work on his hands.
Yeah, it's just tough, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a hard life.
Take a second again. Tell everybody who you are and what you do.
My name's Andrew Meshell. I work for Brant, about to be Southland, running our plumbing and pipe fabrication shop. We fabricate for all the construction jobs in Texas that Brant's doing, and we help overflow for Southland across the nation.
When you say fab, the first thing I think of is spool pieces for pipe fitting, welding,
Right.
stuff like that, which is probably a lot of it. But you fabricate plumbing too.
We fabricate hangers, we fabricate copper systems, cast iron systems, PVC underground, service weight, carbon steel welded, carbon steel grooved, carbon steel threaded, stainless steel welded. We fabricate every single system we install on the jobs.
Wow. What percentage of it are you able to fab?
Probably 60 to 70%. So when we started this, you can't fabricate an entire job.
Right.
Got to start breaking it down. And there were a lot of lessons learned on how big is one chunk. So we started breaking it down, and then we have to look at, okay, well, we build this, how are we going to get it there? Is it going to fit on a truck? Is it going to be able to load? So we had a lot of lessons on, we can fabricate this piece, we can build this piece, break it here. So there are fill joints, obviously, but we fabricate 60 to 70% of the system. When it shows up on the job, they're making 30% of the couplings. And we don't do randoms. We don't do at times, when we don't have equipment detail, we'll leave a random, but we cut to length. So when they get to the field, it is just the field connection. It's not, I'll get up there, measure it, lay it out, cut it off. Everything is drawn to the 1/8 inch, and they install it.
That's so cool.
It's crazy. It's crazy.
Are y'all still in the mentorship groups? Like, I know when I took over doing quality control, 20 years ago.
Yeah.
The Radio Shack Riverfront campus. That was the first quality control job I did. And I remember I hated it because Ronnie had already told me, he says, look, you're going to be the guy nobody wants to eat lunch with, nobody wants to talk to, nobody likes.
Yep.
I'm like, that don't bother me.
Yeah, I mean, you're going to tell them they did something
bet.
wrong.
And I
that's
remember
the only interaction you have with them.
I remember the first week on the job, I walk over under one of the buildings to look at, they had a test ready. And I walked through and start looking, and I'm like, okay. And I'm writing stuff down, and the superintendent was from Fort Worth. The superintendent for that building was from Fort Worth. And I'm writing stuff down, and I hand it to him. He looks at it. It's like, what am I supposed to do with this? I said, well, fix all this.
Nice. You gave him a little punch list.
And he looked at me and said, what do you mean fix it? I said, well, you got combinations in backwards. You got lines dripping. You got this, you got this, you got this. Fix it. He said, and we had just started the job codes then, task codes.
Yeah, breaking it down by, so I'm out of hours. What do you want me to do?
Yeah, and that's what he said. He said, well, what job code do you want me to charge this to? I said, the same one that you should have installed it right with to begin with.
Yeah.
And he got pissed. He says, well, I ain't doing it. I said, good, and call Ronnie. Tell Ronnie I want to know who my next superintendent over here is. Because Ronnie had already told me, whatever you say goes. And I walked in, and I had to let him know in the beginning, look, you ain't going to jack with me. You're going to do it right, or you're going to leave, and it's up to you. And he was pissed.
Yeah, well, that's just another thing that we started, that we realized we have to do that, and we have to get to where we do it during the install, because like you said, nobody was looking at it.
Oh, yeah.
Nobody would watch it. The superintendents wouldn't check it. Is it full of water? Can I call the inspector?
Mm-hmm.
But we realized how much rework we were going back and doing, how many walls we were cutting into, how many red tags. So putting you in that position, like you said, a strong force that you're not going to you're not going to push me around.
Sorry, do whatever you want.
So that's just another thing that we realized, that you have to get to that level. But that kind of helped us push it to where we're at today, and being a union company, I say quality is big for us, and we push to do it right.
I love that. I love that. So what's next for Andrew Meshell?
Retirement. No.
Yeah, you ain't gonna retire anytime soon. You still got 4 kids.
I know. Yeah. So that's when I got brought in to be the shop manager, the position where I'm out there actually running the shop. Mike Clark was in the position that I'm in now. I thought that was it for me. He's only in his 50s. He's a very intelligent guy. You know.
Oh no,
Mike.
I know Mike.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, I was on the first job I think that Mike came on.
Yeah.
And I remember being up on the roof and I was hooking up some cooling towers. I'm a plumber, but learn how to do it all.
Do it.
And he walks up and he looks at something, looks at the prints. He said, "That's not going to work." I said, "What do you mean?" He said, "That spool piece isn't long enough." I said, "Well, what do you mean?"
Right.
And there was a check valve and a butterfly valve behind it. And all that. He said, "That butterfly valve's not going to open."
Yeah.
And I'm like, "Oh, wow." And I'm like, guys, stop, shut down, take it apart, do this, do this. He's sharp.
Yeah.
But I blew his mind one day. I think we were at Love Field in the mechanical room. And we had like I don't know if it's 24 or 36 inch pipe overhead.
Big boy stuff.
Yeah. And we had the skid built for a scissor lift that had the saddle on it to where we could take pieces of pipe, strap it down and lift it up and put it in position. And they had a fabricated piece that had a 90 and 2 spools on it. Not random, exact.
Yeah.
And they're trying to figure out how to get it in the air. And I'm looking around, I said, you know what? Put it in that saddle. So we put it in the saddle with the elbow right in the middle of the saddle.
Okay.
And I told them, strap it tight, strap it hard.
Yeah, you don't want it to roll.
Don't want it to roll, don't want to. So I get this little mini Skytrack that we've got in there. Pick this thing up and start getting in position, and I'm getting it up, and I'm tweaking it, and I'm getting everything, and all of a sudden, Mike yells, "Stop!"
Oh, no.
And I stopped, and I looked up.
You're like, oh, crap.
He said, "I don't know how you did it." He said, "This is perfect." He said, "Weld now."
Wow.
Started welding it, started putting hangers up, tacking it.
Wow.
And he said, "I have no freaking idea how you did it." I said,
On
"I
the
don't
ground,
either."
looking up.
Yeah, I'm on the ground, and I'm like, lean this way, tilt back. And
those controls are touchy.
Oh, they are,
especially on the tilt.
I mean, it got to where you're tapping it like that
man.
because it's like I need a quarter of an inch.
Yeah,
and you just you bump it.
Yeah,
and he's literally like, "I have no idea how you even saw that." I said, "Man, I'm just like, shoot, if we can get it in this saddle like this, why can't we get it up here?"
Yeah, fly it up the exact way it's supposed to go up there.
Went,
I mean, 36-inch pipe trying to.
Is it? I don't know if it's 36 or 24, but it was big stuff because I'm like, wow.
Yeah, it just doesn't move when you get on it.
It doesn't, and it was a trip. But yeah, it's fun. No, I love working with Mike. Mike was probably one of the smartest pipe fitting people I'd ever met.
Yeah,
he just saw it.
Yeah, he just same thing. He applies himself. He cares about what he does. Mm-hmm. He puts a lot of pride into it. But he's another one that took me under his wing and has really helped me because once again, where I got from him, like I said, as a good supervisor, know what you don't know. He doesn't know crap about plumbing.
Oh, no. Me and him have had those same conversations.
Know anything about plumbing. So that's what he first said. Mike and I have worked together on the same job for over 10 years of our career.
Wow.
Because I was the plumber. And
you bet.
He's like, I don't have to worry about it. Drew, you go do this.
Yeah, whatever Drew says goes.
Yeah. But he helped build me. He gave me a lot of qualities, and he really helped mold me in. And he's doing very well in his position. But
is he still in Dallas?
He's going to be right across the street from me. There are 2 buildings out there. We have a whole 37-acre complex.
Wow.
That's going to be expanded. It's going to be a massive facility. There's going to be, in about 3 months, there's going to be 400 to 500 people working at that plant.
Wow.
He's in a separate.
Are they going to make John go all the way over there?
No, he's flying all over the place now, doing stuff for Southland. But like I said, when he brought me into the fab shop and I was in that role, I was like, okay, this is it. You know, Mike's in this position. We knew we were the future of fabrication. We wanted to do it. It was a humongous challenge.
Oh, absolutely.
Because of how bad we were at it and how much needed to change. So I thought that was it. And January of this year, Mike comes into my office, shuts my door. He says, all right, man, this is you. I'm going. And I was like, whoa, hold on. every promotion or raise or something, I've never, it just happened, you know. Obviously I push and I strive to do more, but like I said, I thought that was it. So when he came to me with this, I was like, man, I don't know about this. Meant going into this massive change.
Get out of my comfort zone.
3 times busier than we've ever been, and that's going to double. Right now in Carrollton, we're working 24 hours a day.
Wow.
7 days a week, and they've been doing it since September of last year. 2 shifts around the clock. Obviously, holidays and stuff you get off.
You bet.
We've been, that's how busy we are. That's how much we need this new facility. So I was in the middle of that, and I'm like, well, now I've got to do this too. So I remember having a conversation with my wife. I was like, I don't know if I want to do this. You know, I'm 41 years old. This is a humongous task that I'm taking on. It's like, do I really want to do this? Because I love Mike. I loved working with Mike. Fantastic dude. We had a great relationship, a great work relationship, and everything was going great. So it's like I was going to be fine staying in that position for the rest of my career. So that kind of caught me off when he's like, well, here, this is what we built. Now it's all yours. And while we're 3 times busier, while we're about to double, while we're about to do this, and it was interesting. I had some conversations like, I don't know if I want to do this.
Yeah, I bet.
Just because, first of all, like you said, Mike is a super intelligent person. And that kind of helped make me better because I knew if I turned something into Mike or if I did something, it had to be right. Because the other thing about him is he checks. He doesn't just get it.
Oh, no, absolutely.
He will call you out, and he will get right in the middle and say, show me, prove me. Show me what you did.
Yep.
And that helps push me to be better, helps me to cut out mistakes. But that's a humongous shadow to come in behind as well. Yeah. It's like, man, you're leaving, and now this is me. It's like I don't want to ruin what we built, and it was a challenge.
It's real simple. Then don't
mess up.
Then don't.
Yeah.
Don't ruin it.
But that's the first thing he told me, because the first month, it was rough.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure.
Mike had an accident at the house. He was in a back brace for 3 weeks. That was my turnover. When he came back, he was already in his new position. So I got 0 turnover in the middle of all of that. And the first month, I was complaining.
Oh, yeah.
I'll say I was venting to Mike, but Mike tells me I was complaining. And I remember he just snapped and just yelled at me. And he said, so do something about it. And just like you, when I told you knew when to get on me. You bet. Because I had been complaining to him every single day that week. And he just snapped and yelled at me, and it shook me. Because Mike didn't yell at me. He loves me.
No, I get it. Well, I did too.
Screamed at me. He said, do something about it then. This is yours. You can do something about it. Make the change. And I was like, oh, yeah. I don't have to go to you anymore. I can make so setting up the team, that's the first thing you told me. You need to get a structure in place so you don't have to do this. Because we were small enough then to where I was doing a lot of the steps. First of all, because I know the level I do it to. Mm-hmm. That's the level we wanted to reach. So I was doing it myself. But then we grew so much.
You can't do it all yourself.
Yeah. So that's the best advice he gave me. He said, you need to put a structure underneath you to where you don't have to be stressed out about printing fab books or checking stickers. Yep. You know, this is the basic things. But it kind of shook me because he literally screamed at me. I was like, funny. Whoa, man.
Tell me about the best day you've ever had at work.
Probably mostly on paydays. That's a pretty good day.
It's not a bad day, is it?
Yeah, if they're working 7/12s at night, it's a good day. But anytime you get a promotion, obviously, because you feel like, hey, they're recognizing what I'm doing. The 18-hour days I've put in, like you said, taking blueprints home, and as a supervisor, there's so many things you have to do.
Oh, yeah.
And you can't get to them at work all the time because everything's going wrong. People are coming at you. So I would take stuff home, and I'd be sitting at the kitchen table working on it. And so when you get a promotion or a raise, it's like, man, it makes me feel good that they're recognizing that. But I would probably say the day I got my master plumbing license, when I came into work that next day, just seeing how the team greeted me, and I made a big, Mike was playing Masters, the song Masters. He was playing that song when I walked in, and just the feeling of accomplishment and seeing your team come together to support you and congratulate you, that was a big deal.
I love that. Tell me about your worst day ever at work.
Worst day ever at work was setting a laboratory carrier. They had tried to pour the concrete back, so every time I drilled, it would just bust out. And then, the feet aren't square, so the holes were crooked, and I'm sitting there trying to beat these quick bolts in, and it literally took me 8 hours to set one laboratory carrier. And I remember going home, and I was like, I can't even set a carrier. What am I doing? But that night, it's funny, my wife, when I woke up the next morning, she said, you were working in your sleep last night. Like, what do you mean? She said, you were laying on your back, turning a wrench, and it was because that stupid carrier. I fought all day, but that was very frustrating because, once again, I'm used to be able to just go do something, and most of the time figure it out on my own. But the fact that I couldn't do that, and I was an early apprentice, young apprentice, I was like, I got this. And I told my foreman, I got this, man. And it was a disaster.
It gets that way sometimes.
Confidence, yeah, over a stupid laboratory carrier.
All right, so if you could go back to the day after you graduated high school, that Monday morning, you get up and you walk out the door. You're headed into your life as a graduate.
Right.
Knowing everything you know now, what would you tell yourself then?
Don't date that girl. That would be the first one. Stay away from her. But I kind of like the way I did it, honestly. Our scars make us who we are. Our mistakes make us better. I took the summer off. Like I said, I just went and got a job at Subway, so I didn't jump right into work. I was able to enjoy my freedom from high school. I was making my own money, bought my own car. I like the way I did it. I mean, I'm 42 years old. I'm in a fantastic position with a huge future ahead of me. I'm a master plumbing license. I'm an RMP for a company. I just say don't quit, because there are times I wanted to quit. I'm a big person now, but you remember when?
Oh yeah, you're a little skinny guy.
Skin and bones. So every time it would get to about 20 degrees, I was out.
Oh yeah, I hated cold.
I wanted to quit every single winter, but that's what I would say. Just don't quit, because it's obviously paid off.
Drew, this has been good.
Yeah, I'm excited. I remember when I told my wife about that promotion, she started crying, like literally started crying. She's like, I can't believe this is where we're at. This is what you've accomplished. And I said, I'm 42 years old. I still got a long ways ahead of me, but that's what I would just say. Don't quit.
I love that. Thank you for coming in.
Absolutely.
I've enjoyed the heck out of this.
I can't believe you walked by me at the airport.
I know. It's like, dude, what are you doing?
I know that, dude. It was crazy. That's how we hooked back up.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for coming in.
Awesome, man. Thank you, Roger.